The piranha scene, well, that was the first scene we shot.
Yeah.
So it was a good sort of test of the character from my point of view, because it was very visual, not a lot of talking, but really had to sort of say what the character was. And so it was a great way for Jenna, I felt, to kind of try the character out for the first time, because it was very symbolic of what Wednesday is.
Definitely. It was the first time having the wardrobe on and establishing facial expression, and Wednesday actually had a smile for the first time, which was a weird thing to start
with.
For
the first and last time,
yeah.
Very few times.
I remember we tried a bunch of different smiles, and also on the walk-in when I was walking.
No, it was great. It was a great way to kind of get started. It was, creating an American high school in Romania was the first challenge, and then from that it was quite easy, and it's always nice to start with something that's very sort of symbolic of what the piece is.
The only person who gets to torture my brother is me.
This was the costume that paid homage to Wednesday that everybody knew before, but it was a new Wednesday.
We wanted to establish something new about Wednesday's look this time around and kind of make her different from what we've seen before, but still truthful to the character. So yeah, I mean, we tried different plait lengths and no fringe, hair colors. Yeah, it was good.
We weren't trying to copy anything, and that's what Jenna brought to it was something new.
I personally was terrified.
It's always hard to start a character.
Yeah.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, it took you almost until you did like the psychiatrist scene to kind of feel like you got it. Yeah, and you're lucky, because sometimes it takes people longer to get it. I've seen performances where maybe after the first week or two, they start to get it. But I mean, you got it quick. I mean, luckily you got it from the beginning.
Yeah, I had been in Romania for maybe 5 days or something like that. And then obviously getting to work with Tim and Colleen for the first time, there's some sort of nerve or not really understanding. We just kind of hit the ground running.
Yeah, I mean, that's all.
It's the first time you meet Wednesday. So
yeah, I mean, and that's why starting with that sequence was good, because it wasn't, all this dialogue, and so it was a good way for all of us to kind of feel the character.
It was great that it was the first step, which sometimes doesn't happen in filmmaking. Sometimes you're shooting the end before you shoot the beginning. But it was really nice to sort of sequentially evolve Wednesday in the story, which was kind of lucky.
Yeah, I was just glad that we found the right collar, because for some reason the white collar, it's a bit trickier than you would anticipate. So we tried long collars, rounded collars, short collars.
There was a coat that you had with that rain sequence that I wanted to get, but it didn't fit me.
It was a little tight.
It was a little tight on me, but
there
was some nice costumes.
Really?
Yeah, that was an old coat that I found in Coffee.
That was the first coat that we put on.
But it had a nice collar. I mean, I think the collars, the sort of sharp collars that you were wearing were very good for the character.
In the case of Wednesday, we talked about the uniforms first because we had to make them first.
I enjoyed the black fencing costume. I know I only wore it once, but I just liked that. It's like, I guess, not really offensive, but just absolutely wrong in the fencing community to wear a black costume. So that was really enjoyable. Also, the cat costume was an interesting venture, and I felt ridiculous in it with the cat ears, which I think helped with the scenes as well.
Well, my favorite one was the one that coat I wanted. Remember, it was like a raincoat with a nice spiky sort of, again, Wednesday collar. Remember that one?
Yeah, I do.
I liked Jenna's school uniform the most. It was so precise, and I liked it for that.
Yeah, I say when you do it, it's like witchcraft, because you'll take an outfit that's already feels great and I feel more supported, and then you say add 3 buttons, and then you are that person, and I feel like
frog bodies. Yes, it is witchcraft, by the way.
My crew has accused me of that, actually.
I've heard she's a witch.
That's the only reason why I joined.